Welcome back, and today we are going to be taking a look at the MiG-15 non-bis at 8.0. Next to the MiG-15 bis, it is a bit of a downgrade. You don't have boosters, meaning that your roll rate is basically abysmal at any speed, and at high speed this plane doesn't really pull whatsoever. You basically need to be a fortune teller in order to run people down. If you play purely on what's happening in front of you and you are reacting to what your enemy is doing, most likely you are not going to be all that effective. It's a pretty strong plane at 8.0, but it's very limited. You need to play around the hand that you are dealt and just accept that kills will take a little bit of time in this thing. It's all about dogfighting, setting up and utilizing your energy, which is honestly pretty good. The flaps aren't as good as they used to be. They're pretty slow to extend. They are pretty fast to retract, however, so you wouldn't really risk ripping them off if you try to feather them at high speed. But if you do rip them off, you will limit your performance a great deal because they are very important to fight in that low speed range. High speed doesn't really apply to this thing. It locks up completely and you basically turn into an unguided projectile. It's not really ideal, and the same thing goes for when you are at low speed, because the roll rate just isn't really there, and in a defensive posture this will put you under quite a bit of pressure. Here we have an F9F coming in, we go up over his nose, he's never gonna pull in, he shoots a missile off, not sure why, and we instantly drop onto a 6. Now, other than the first shot here that is simply bad aim, I want you to take a look and how hard it is for me to actually line up my shots when he's kind of rolling around. Now we have a Meteor Mark 8 also spraying at the dude, but every time I squeeze the trigger, he rolls slightly and I'm not really able to follow whatsoever, especially if he inverts completely. Now here he pulls fully and you can tell that I'm instantly reeling him in, and the second I'm about to get the shot, the Meteor severes him instead. And here we have an A5 that's taking off, and I wanted to have a little bit of a dogfight, and I'm gonna show you it anyway, because I do want to talk about the flashing on the screen. When you disconnect or crash your game and you come back by rejoining in progress, the screen will flash like this. You still have the same G-forces that you normally do, but that's why it looks so weird. It's simply a bug, and this guy, I think he took off with his engine turned off basically on like 20%. That's why he's going like 20 kilometers an hour. But enough slop games. Let's take a look at some actual games that required a little bit of thought put into them. So we have an F3H coming in as well as an F9F, and I think it's an F9F 8. Considering they are coming from the same direction and they are both turbo speed loss planes, I'm just gonna turn into the same direction. I'm gonna turn with both of them and drain both their balls at the exact same time. I want to try keep turning into the same direction here so that they have to do complete 360s. And this is the least energy efficient thing that they can do. I'm trying to go up a little bit, I'm trying to yo-yo, and I'm trying to single out a singular dude. The F3H here is pretty close to getting shot here. I thought he was about to fall out of the air, but he had a little bit more speed, maybe a little bit less fuel than I anticipated, and he just pulls out of my guns. At these kind of speeds, the roll rate isn't really an issue, because you just have so much time to aim. But if this guy starts diving away and simply rolling around, there is nothing I can do. The F9F, completely drained, not really an issue anymore. He dives to the deck, leaves me alone with the F3H, and it allows me to just kind of wear him down. High speed loss planes are an absolute treat to fight in this thing, because you have energy for days over them, and it kind of feels like you are playing the MiG-15 bis in a way. We follow down the F3H, he's going a bit too fast, go back to the F9F, does a bit of a predictable roll, I just wait on the right side, he pulls into it, squeeze the trigger, and we get our first little kill. And we're still above the entire team over here, and for now the F3H is kind of booking it, so I'm just gonna be ignoring him. But then he turns around, and I can go for the F9F, but I can also just wait for the F3H to kind of pass underneath us and then see if we can engage him. But then two other guys pop up. We have the Limp 5 on the horizon, we have another Furball right over there over the river, and we have another F3H coming in. So I don't really want to engage anyone right now and simply look at the way that the game is progressing. I can't really force my hand here. If I try to go down, big chance I'm going to be getting swamped. And if you get swamped in this thing, it is essentially over, especially in a full down tier. F3H below us is just basically losing all his energy. We get a severe basically for free. I just want him out of the match. We see the Meteor is kind of dealing with the MiG-15 and the Limb-5, so I have a little bit of breathing room here. F2H is all the way across the map. F9F comes back in. We merge with him, it's an F9F2, but there is also a MiG-15 coming around, and I'm just going to be ignoring the F9F. It's a BIS. I need to care about this guy, but I also need to get these numbers down, because fighting 2v1 in this thing, especially if their planes are better, or at least one of them is, you're gonna have a bit of an issue. I'm gonna go horizontal here to kind of conserve my speed. I'm trying to raid fight the F9F while dodging the MiG-15. MiG-15 comes in, he still has the same kind of issues as I do with the roll rate and the boosters, but it's way less pronounced. But at high speed, it's pretty hard to shoot someone that's actually paying attention. Even though I can't really move out of the way, I'm able to kind of keep raiding and reel the F9F in. And the F9F here isn't going that much quicker than me. And I know it's an F9F2. It doesn't have unlimited web and it doesn't have that much thrust. And I can't really go for the MiG-15 behind me because the F9F will probably turn back in. And this way I can chase the F9F. I have a little bit of room. I can pressure him and I can push him away from the furball so he doesn't rejoin. MiG-15 now has to choose between me and the furball. He goes for the furball, opens me up to cut down the F9F. Which we do, but he's a little bit too fast, but we notice it's A5 because we now go into the furball. Everyone is slow and we kind of just pick up a free kill on the way there. A5 down, F9F starts turning away, Meteor crits him, he's completely dead. Our guy is dead as well, and then we rejoin the fight by just turning back towards the F3H and the Limb 5P. Now, this is a fight that I should win pretty reliably. This guy isn't paying attention, we get a free severe essentially. And the Limb 5 notices that very quickly his team has just imploded all around him. And I'm not going to turn in front of him. I'm going to be turning away for a little bit, running away, opening up the gap. And then rejoin the fight from a little bit of an off circle. But he does the smart thing and disengages. But for now, I'm going to be going quicker than him. He will out-accelerate me. He will out-drag me and outrun me. But for now, I'm able to close the gap and hopefully pressure him into maneuvering and hopefully that way make my team catch him. But my team is much slower than me, so it's up to me to reel him in before he reaches the airfield. He keeps pulling down when I shoot, so I'm just going to shoot underneath him. And as the prophecy foretold, at 670 meters he pulls directly into the singular shell and blows his shit smooth off. Kill number 5 and on to the next game, which is a little bit more of a carry situation. The last game is more about situational awareness and choosing your targets. This is all about knowing your planes and fighting them properly. For now, I'm simply looking around to see what plane I want to engage. Sabres have a little bit of a priority because they're really annoying to deal with, especially in a 1v2 situation. So I'm looking around, but there is very little of my team around and they're all stacked on top of each other, making it pretty annoying to fight anyone. A4E, however, pulls off from the furball, pitches straight up for me, so we go straight up as well. We open up the gap here and just kind of keep looking around. I don't want to get spiked by some random dude as I'm going 2 kilometers an hour. So we drop back down and I'm just simply looking around again who I can engage. And the F9F here has a little bit of priority. He's shooting at my teammate and I don't have much of my teammates left. And then we notice the A5 in front of us, as well as the Seahawk directly on top. But I need to make something happen here. My team is kind of falling apart. And even though this might be a little bit risky, if I don't cut these numbers down, we are going to be losing. So I can't let these guys dictate the game by simply existing. So I return back into the furball and I take down the A4E after missing all my shots. He finally gets severed. We disengage. CL-13A Mark 5 comes on my 6, as well as the A5 directly on my right. If these guys at the same time engage me, it's done, it's over, I am dead. I can't really do anything here. They're way too good offensively and I'm not strong enough defensively to really do anything about them. Luckily, I'm faster, I'm able to disengage. CL-13 loses interest and the A5 kind of goes level. I'm not sure if he's storing his energy in his balls or if he's just fighting the Swift, but I'm going to be engaging him right now as the Swift is on him and he instantly gets crit. So we're able to re-engage and see who to fight. Luckily, the guys that we were just fighting are now going a little bit slower. The CL-13, the G91 and the Vampire are all 3 planes that I don't really want to deal with. They're very annoying to hit. The small planes, they're very roll ratey and they're pretty nimble overall. So it's actually pretty annoying to hit them if they are paying attention. They gun down the MiG-17, but I'm in a pretty good position here. I can run them out of energy. I'm mainly going to be going for the CL-13 if I can, but he gets crit. And that's good, because now I can actually focus on the vampire. But this kind of angle, I'm never going to be hitting him. So we just disengage, we go straight back up. And the vampire, while being very nimble, is going to have issues keeping up with what I'm doing right here. But I don't want to give him too much room, because if I allow him to store up his energy every time I make a pass, I will never run him out. This time around, he's very busy trying to shoot at someone, which is good for us, because then he flies perfectly straight. The Seahawk, however, is only going to be looking at me, and he's coming from an altitude advantage position. He's going a little bit quicker. He's actually going relatively fast here, and I need to be careful. He has a lot of ammo, the guns are good, and they do a lot of damage right now. But we can open up the gap, because he just did a very energy inefficient maneuver while I'm in the MiG-15. I can go up. It's not a bad engine. It's just that the MiG-15 BIS is much better. And after stalling him out, we just kind of go horizontal. We miss all of our shots. He rolls out of the way. I have a little bit of bad aim, a bit of a mixture, and we miss. Kind of annoying, and now we need to re-engage and draw out this fight. And that's why this video is so damn long. It takes a while to kill people in this thing, because it's a very slow played plane. But I'm now on a 6, we're kind of in a raid, and eventually I will reel him in. He will run out of energy despite turning better at specific speeds. He now kind of disengages. He's trying to defend against the J-34. Allows me to reposition. I'm just going to open up the gap a little bit, go up, make him go slower, make him go for the J-34. But it doesn't really matter what he does anymore. He's way too slow to really do anything. And down he goes. Kill number 3. And now we have to look for the last 2 targets. And honestly, this is what the plane is good at. Now I'm fighting the F-3H as well as an F-86 F-25. And these planes are just much better than this thing at high speed. But if they go into a dogfight, I will be able to do something about them. We finally run into the F-3H. He's coming from our side of the map. And he's going to be going head on with the J-34. And you can instantly tell that this guy is much quicker than us. We are never going to be catching him. So we just have to hope that he engages us before the F-25 comes in and not at the same time. I can deal with both of them at the same time. It is going to be slightly annoying though, because the F-3H will be basically pulling AOA into the shot every time we make a turn. And the F-25 will be retaining a lot of energy. So you will be fighting 2 different duels at the same time, which is basically impossible. But then the F-3H actually merges with us. So we're just able to open up the gap, go vertical. I'm not too worried about the missiles. They're only AIM-9Bs and AIM-7Ds, I think they were. But they don't have any pull off the rail. He's going very slow and we are way too close. So I just go horizontal, wait for him to stall, wait for the missile to kind of pass behind us. And we line up the shot, we squeeze the trigger, we miss. But then we severe him, and at the exact right moment, because there is the F-25. We're not going all that quick and he is kind of diving on us. He's going fast, he has 50 kills, a good roll rate. It's a hard merge to dodge. We managed to do so. We try to go up and wait for him to come to me. And the second I see him take the fight by going vertical, I'm going to drop the flaps to increase the turn a little bit, lose a little bit of speed to solidify my position. And we are now firmly planted at a speed where he won't be able to recover. He overshoots, we squeeze the trigger, and down he goes. An F-25 at low speed doesn't stand much of a chance, but it's still very winnable overall. The F-25 just has much better power at high speed, much more controllability, and what he should do is merge at high speed, play for position early on, and then he just rides your ass completely for free, and there's really not much you can do about it. Here we have a Barugan or an Uragan, I'm not sure which one it is. It's an Uragan. We merge with him. We're not really able to pull into the shot because he kind of rolls in the direction where I'm not able to follow. I can tell that I'm pulling away from his nose. I'm kind of trying to sit behind him while pulling vertical. And this allows me to energy trap him relatively quickly. He is instantly falling out of the air. We drop the flaps here just to increase the turn a slight amount to get the shot a little bit earlier. I want to get as close as possible, as quick as possible before he gets energy to pull out of the way. Tap him out of the air, and then we just keep looking for the furball again. And we have multiple guys around. I'm not really sure who to go for. Everyone's on the deck, everyone is in a fight and they're all turning into me, kind of annoying to deal with. But then we notice the F2H that's kind of flying away from us, so we're gonna just see if we can line up the shot. But he touches his control slightly, not able to follow, almost ram a teammate out of the air, and there is 4 enemies on my 6. Luckily only one of them is an actual player, so we merge with him. We're gonna turn in here, we're going about 840, which is a little bit fast for this plane. But the F2H also isn't that nimble at high speed. It doesn't pull a load of AOA, so we're able to pull out of the nose. And we do the exact same thing again. I'm trying to pull away from him slightly, try to turn behind him. I'm not really turning for the shot right now. But now the top of his loop is basically the bottom of mine, so we're gonna do the same thing again. Go straight vertical, try to pull behind him, but this time around he's actually so slow that it was hardly necessary, and all I really had to do was just pull directly at him. Squeeze him out of the air, and here comes Fu-26 with his A5 Saber. And this is a pretty interesting fight. The A5 turns a lot better, but it just doesn't have the engine power, and eventually he will fall out of the air. But if he starts on your 6 and is able to wear you down before you start going into low speed, you're probably not going to be shaking this guy off. Luckily, we merge pretty neutral. I'm going relatively quick, and I'm trying to conserve my speed here by actually not going up, but going down slightly to match the turn of the A5. Because I know that eventually, in this kind of rate, I should be able to outpower him, especially at this kind of altitude. So we wait for him to pull in, and then we go vertical. We're now going relatively slow, and my increased engine power at low speed should work dividends by just kind of energy trapping him. The issue is that, well, he sees this and he just kind of dives away. And this is the issue with the MiG-15. People can just be like, no, I actually don't want to fight this losing fight, and they just get to run away for free. And the issue is here that because the MiG-15 plays pretty slow, kind of like with the MiG-19, people just have so much time to disengage that very often you will lose out on kills just like this. Now if you're on the deck, it's a little bit different, but you don't want to do it on the deck because then you get completely swamped. And that's why you can tell that I'm looking for people that are kind of secluded and potentially already in a fight. The G91 is fighting the J29. I know the G91 is hella annoying to deal with. He is slow right now and he is alone. And I thought that the A5 was running away from me still, but he's actually paying attention to me. So we are now going to be re-engaging him because he is the highest guy here. He just did a 180. I don't want to make him build up too much speed because I don't want to merge at high speed because then he has a big advantage. So I'm actually going to merge with my air brake out, something I don't do very often, but I need to make sure that I don't overshoot, and I need to play energy while being very close to him because I also don't want him to run away. Right now I'm in a perfect position. We go straight up. I'm kind of overstaying my aggressive line here, but it's okay because I'm on his 6 and he doesn't have the power to go up again, especially at this altitude. He goes back down to run away from me, I presumed, and you can tell that I'm not able to line it up at all. But if he had just kept diving away there, I wouldn't have been able to do anything and it would have been the same thing all over again. But he recommits for a split second and it's just enough for me to click him straight out of the lobby. And that's the A5 out of the match, and that's actually a pretty big deal because they are really annoying to deal with. Don't forget about the flaps. When you extend them, it takes like 5 minutes for them to fully deploy. So sometimes after a fight you notice that they were still actually dropping. Just don't rip them off. You will absolutely hate yourself. CO13 gets severed over there. He's going to be making it back to the runway, however. But then we have 2 F-84Fs directly underneath us. Now I'm not really too worried about them, but they are going to be very annoying when I fight the other people in this lobby. So if I do get to kill them for free, I will definitely try. First one goes down. Second one here pulls directly in my guns, but he's actually paying attention to where I'm going, so he just kind of rolls out of the way, and that's all I can do. Seahawk and the CO13. CO13 is RTB. Seahawk, a little bit annoying to fight, especially if there's multiple people around, but when it's like this, it's completely okay. So we go up over his nose, and then 2 people get spotted the second I start that turn. Luckily not a little bit later, because now I'm able to disengage and actually put my nose where I need it to be. Go head on, miss everything because he dodges. G91 also appears on my left, and at this point I thought, well, it's going to be kind of over unless they all pull fully and just kind of drain all their speed away. Another plane comes in. It's a MiG-15. And now I'm really in the thick of it, because I need to kill the G91 right here. Not able to. Pull out of the way, dive away, and chase down the F-86 F-25. The issue is it's a MiG-15 bis. He's keeping his energy. For now, I'm going a little bit quicker because he just did a 360 and I only did a 180 essentially. So I'm able to run away for a little bit longer. I'm just trying to make sure that the G91 doesn't missile me. Luckily, the F-25 broke off, but this is incredibly bleak. Luckily, the Seahawk flies into a tree and the G91 peels off to go for my friendly that's directly on my left. It's the Meteor. So I kind of bob and weave with the MiG-15. We then try to merge, try to stay on his wingtip so that he overshoots. And I'm kind of throttle dropping here because most people try to go for the scissor, but he goes for a high yo-yo and I am now completely energy trapped. I mean, I would have been in 2 or 3 turns anyway, and I tried to kill him as quick as possible. I would do it again knowing what's about to happen, but you know, it is what it is. He now has more energy over me. He's diving on me and I need to get out of his guns. Now, luckily, he also can't roll very well, so I'm going to try to stay on his wingtip yet again. But this time, I'm going to predict that he's going to be going up and I'm going to be cutting off his flight path. Now, the issue is that I'm going 400 only. He's going a lot quicker and he's able to roll and move out of the way. We get some shots in, push him a little bit further away. And now we need to dive again. We need to build up speed. This guy is going to be turning around pretty quickly and he is going to be going a lot quicker when he finally gets within gun range. It's incredibly annoying, and here comes the F-25. He's also going to be rejoining the fight. The G91 luckily is not, and the only thing I can do here is try to survive for as long as possible. Bob and weave, get out of his guns, pull the opposite direction, try to merge with the F-25 while doing so. And here, he actually does a bit of an energy inefficient maneuver. He's very busy trying to stay above and behind me while I'm basically flying straight. So it actually gives me an ability to build up a little bit of speed, get a little bit of separation. And because of this, I'm able to re-merge with both of them. I'm not really trying to do anything here other than delay them. I know I have some teammates coming in, they're pretty close, and if I try to dogfight both of them at the same time, what's going to end up happening is that the MiG-15 bis is just going to be energy trapping me. He's playing energy, and that's what he's going to be doing, so I can't really fight both of them at the same time. Call for help in the chat, just so that they don't go base bombing, and then we turn in towards them. Is this a winnable fight? Absolutely not, but we can at least try to do something. So I try to merge again at close range to my friendlies, because these guys keep going fully vertical and losing all their speed. And because we have a C-Vixen around, that's a pretty good thing. He can just come in and missile one of them. He's playing vertical here. He has them both energy trapped at this point basically. And I'm able to kind of disengage and build up a little bit of speed. I'm also trying to separate from my friendlies so that they have to choose a singular one to engage. And Mr. Gaz over here is actually going to come towards us while the F-25 tries to deal with the C-Vixen. This is good. The F-25 is going slow. The C-Vixen is now running down the MiG-15. Forces him to break off. And because of this, I am now able to re-engage with both of them. I'm actually going 800. The MiG-15 bis is going a little bit slower at this point. He's doing a lot of turns to re-engage here. The F-25 is going for the C-Vixen. And this lines up perfectly as the C-Vixen baits this guy absolutely to perfection. He pulls underneath the MiG-15 to free me up, and I'm instantly able to capitalize on it with the MiG-15 directly on my 6. The F-25 gets severed, and we remerge with the MiG-15 that is now actually going for the C-Vixen. Absolute goat of a teammate, thank you very much, as we now line up the MiG-15 shot, and I just miss and he rolls out of the way. The MiG-15 though now gets to run away for free, and we get to do this all over again in a minute. We go for a landing, we get our fuel and our ammo back, and he does the exact same thing. But we were a little bit closer on our side of the map, so I was able to take off earlier, and because of this I have a little bit of an advantageous position. But keep in mind, I am not able to fight at high speed, which means that at high speed I actually don't want him to commit just yet, and I kind of want him to just not commit to me because he thinks that I have an energy advantage, and that's actually what he does. He runs away, and now I'm above and behind him. I have teammates around, but we do have the ticket disadvantage, so we need to make sure that he doesn't just run us out. He just keeps running, He already says not again, haha, and I can't fault him for it, because that last fight was already pretty tedious. Now I was about to taunt him, but then he turns back in, which is good. We can now actually have a bit of a dogfight, and you will be able to see the discrepancy here, but because I'm in a pretty good position, I'm sitting above him, I'm going horizontal, all I need to do here is pull out of the way, and then when I'm about to merge with him again on the top of my loop, I'm gonna try to drop flaps and pull in front of him, and he pulls away again and runs to, well, not his airfield. I'm not gonna shame him for running towards the airfield. He's just running away, and it happens to be in the direction of the airfield. Talk a little bit of extra smack, give him a little bit of room here, and he takes it. He's gonna be turning around, and we are gonna be merging with him. We're still going 850, a little bit too quick, but because I'm sitting above him, I can go horizontal. We drop the air brake a little bit, drop a little bit of throttle, try to sit behind him, play for position, go straight vertical when he's about to fall out of the air, and then we should be able to pull very nicely directly onto his 6. But again, you can tell that he's going just much quicker than us, and that is because I'm trying to play for position. I need to do so, because if I try to do anything else, he will eventually win. So I need to make something happen. I need to park myself in the correct place and hope that he kind of panics and just straight up kills himself. I'm now on his 6, he goes vertical, try to make sure that I don't overshoot, try to not overuse the flaps, but then I notice that I'm getting pretty close to the shot, and I'm going to drop the flaps a little bit more. The second I get the shot, however, I'm going to pull them in. I don't want to lose too much energy, because then he gets to do this for absolutely free again. Now luckily, he does need to move around in order to dodge my shots. It's going to cost him a little bit of speed, and he's going to not cover as much distance as quickly. But again, with these guns, it's hard to line them up, especially when you're fighting a non-bis, which has just much more control at high speed. Go ahead on with the F-84. Now, the F-84F is really not a threat whatsoever. It's one of the worst planes that you can play. He tried to make his teammate do something, and unless the GOAT and the Sea Vixen that I had, the F-84 just completely ignores him. I try to get some long range shots in. He is not having it. He's just kind of bobbing around. And I'm just kind of sitting here. He doesn't want to fight over the airfield, so he turns in. And this time around, it actually kind of cost him, because I'm in a pretty good position. I'm making sure that I don't overshoot. And eventually, well, you're not going to be quick enough anymore when you maneuver this much, and then it's just a matter of holding the trigger down until we eventually hit him, and that is going to be the game. Thank you very much for watching. GG to Mr. Gas, and I'll see you all in the next one.